And Johnny, let's move on into our next discussion. And I need to apologize. If you are on YouTube right now, you don't see us. You see our logo. So, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, one of our batteries decided to bust for unforsaken reasons. I don't know how it busted. But we have to get a new one. So for this segment, while Johnny and I do it, we're having it charge. And then when we come back for the third segment, our Thor topic, hopefully you'll be seeing our faces again. So for this one, we're going to take a little hiatus from you guys seeing our faces. And it's audio for everybody for this topic. And we're looking at Black Panther. Before we get into it, make sure to rate and review the podcast on iTunes and Apple Podcast. Every 5-star rating really, really, really means the world to us and helps us get to where we want to be and gets us into the ears of more people. But we're going to look at Black Panther 2. Should Namor be the main villain of Black Panther 2? Because, Johnny, let me set this one up for you. So I've got two articles here, both of them from WeGotThisCovered.com. The first one is from 2 months ago, so it's a little older. And in that one, they say Black Panther 2's villain has been narrowed down to 2 choices. And if let's see, I'm going to find the exact part that I want to read for you. And it is... Okay, I think it's right here. As per previous reports and rumors, one of these is Namor. So they're talking about him right away. So one of these is Namor. The Submariner looks due to make his live-action debut in Phase 4, and it seems that Black Panther 2 could be the movie to introduce him to audiences. However, his involvement isn't set in stone, as Marvel is ready to ship him over to another sequel if there's no place for him in Wakanda, namely Doctor Strange 2. The other choice for BP2's villain is Princess Xanda. Debuting in Black Panther 1 back in 1977, Xanda is the ruler of one of Wakanda's neighbors, Narobia. Classically, she's obsessed with collecting powerful mythical artifacts. In more recent times, she was driven to an insane rage when she discovered that T'Challa was marrying Storm. If Xanda's chosen over Namor, she'll be the third female MCU villain, following Thor Ragnarok's Helen and Ant-Man and the Wasp's Ghost. Hela. The second one is from We Got This Covered, obviously, again. And it's from 2 weeks ago rather than 2 months ago. I give you the 2 months ago just to kind of create some discussion, but this article, people will be like, well, Ricky, this one kind of squashes that, but take it for how you may. So they say, according to our source, the same one who told us that the real Mandarin will appear in Shang-Chi and Taskmaster will be the villain in Black Widow, both that became true. Like, we know that those are true right now. Mm-hmm. The studio has chosen Namor to be the main antagonist of Black Panther 2. The specifics of his role are still a bit unclear. But like we said above, the sequel will see him trying to take control of Wakanda and become its ruler. So, Johnny, with that being said, they were thinking about the two. Apparently a source close to We Got This Covered, the same one that has told them 2 things that are true about Phase 4. I want to ask you, if it is true, Namor, the main antagonist for Black Panther 2, should he be the main antagonist? Should he be the main villain for the next Black Panther movie?
Seeing as Namor in most cases is not a villain, no. I mean, not the main villain. I am going to definitely agree with making him like the main antagonist though. Mm-hmm. because I have a few.
So what you're saying is main antagonist and main villain are different.
To me, yes.
Okay. How so? Just explain it for everyone out here there who may not be totally getting that connection.
Main antagonist means so the movie is based Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
The main person he's going to be fighting overall, the main one that's going to be like butting heads with, is Namor. But to me, the main villain is the one who's causing the problems.
The destruction.
Like the one who, like, let's say, how do I put this? Sort of like the
Loki wasn't the main villain in Thor Ragnarok. It was Hela. Kind of like that.
Let's not even go that way. Let's say that Loki wasn't the main villain. It's almost like the idea of Loki wasn't the main villain in Avengers. It was Thanos. Or even you can say Guardians is a better way of putting it.
Yes.
Ronan was not the main villain. Thanos was pulling the strings.
Yes.
Behind it.
I like that.
And it's not, so that would be to me, Thanos is the main villain. And yeah, to me, they're both villains because Ronan is necessarily also a bad guy. But that poll, to me, I use antagonist instead of villain because, yeah, in the comics, I think he was debuted as a villain to Black Panther. But in more of the comics that I know about, he's not a villain.
Well, and
he's going to be like Aquaman and defend Atlantis before.
You could always throw him out, though, as villainous at... I don't even want to use the word villainous. Like, he could seem like the villain because he's on the other side, but then it's more of like a disagreement where, hey, we're in a disagreement, and then it's like, okay, we settled that argument, that war, and now we're on the same side where I'm kind of with you. I don't think he should be the main villain. And the reason why I say that is I feel like in the beginning, him and Black Panther should go mano-y-mano, but then there's got to be a common threat that challenges both of them.
Act 1, they go
exactly,
they have their fight.
Middle of Act 2 or something like that.
Yeah, I'll go with that too.
It's the third act should be them coming together to fight a common cause. Then the main villain is like, hey, who do they go up against? And you're getting, for those who can't see because we're not on camera, you're getting the little Mr. Burns hands going on and that little smile that you get when you have an idea. So what's churning in that little noggin of yours?
So there's one main common to me.
Villain?
I mean, obviously there's other common villains that they have together, and it would be Atuma.
Say it one more time.
Atuma?
Okay.
I'll click on his wiki and read it to you.
Tell me about it, because I have no knowledge of Atuma.
I know. So Atuma, I'll go start. His full name is Atuma. He is a ruler. Where is it? Okay, you're not helping right now. Okay, here it is. So his history. I'll just read that. This is from the wiki.
Okay.
He was born into the tribe of Homo Mermanus, who eschewed civilization to live as underwater nomadic barbarians. By some unrecorded method, Atuma was endowed with strength far surpassing... Why'd you skip down on me? Far surpassing that of his people. Nearing adulthood, Atuma learned of a prophecy in the Lost Atlantean Chronicles of a conqueror who would take the empire of Atlantis by force. Believing himself to be that conqueror, Atuma moved to a position of leadership over his barbaric brethren and launched an attack on the city of Atlantis and its ruler, Prince Namor, also known as the Submariner. He is Namor's arch enemy. Now, when I looked up Black Panther villains, he came up under this because there's more. Atuma appears as a... it's just a Lego game. Who gives a shit? Enlists the help of Torg, the Yeti. No one cares. So that's all that's important on that one. But that would be... He sets them against each other. If I get rid of him, I get Atlantis. If I get rid of him, I have all the vibranium I want to take over everything else since I'm a conqueror. Who else is helping him think of this? I don't know. It could be that he just thought of himself. Maybe there's another brain that kind of worked with him. Maybe another Black Panther villain. That kind of like the brains of it. but I mean, if he's a conqueror, they may play the angle of like, yeah, he may have come up from a barbarian tribe, and they may not even play that part into it, but he may have more of the strategic wits about him.
Yeah, and I'm almost thinking to myself of, because here's what I'm thinking, and this kind of goes into what we talked about in the last segment, where one of the secret pages that Marvel had was Avengers versus X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
And in the comic, Namor lays waste
To
Wakanda. So in this story, the thing that's starting to churn in my head is because that happens, and I would want to keep that for Avengers versus X-Game.
Jesus Christ.
Avengers versus X-Men. She's not going to have it. It's already cemented in my head to where I'm just going to say X-Game.
And we have T'Challa versus Tony Hawk right now.
I almost look at it in a sense of he has to have that hatred there.
I mean, they still
Black
always
Panther,
butt heads.
Where is it they go up against a common enemy, but you all right, they're not friends? Or,
yeah, that's how I would play it.
Or would it be stronger to have them go head to head the whole movie and then have a peace treaty at the end, or have a coming together where it's like we can't keep fighting, but it's one of we're not friends.
I would go with that because a peace treaty at the end kind of seems it seems like a shitty ending.
I'm trying to find the right words.
I know what you mean.
A ceasefire almost.
Yeah, sort of. It would be more like you know what? This fighting needs to stop. Your people. It would be like your people are dying. My people are dying. We're just gonna stop it. Tell me that wouldn't be kind of a shitty ending as opposed to common enemy. I don't like you. You don't like me. But we need to work together to stop him. Mm-hmm. I think that, and at the very end, you can put I'm not friends with you. You're not friends with me. But we're gonna be civil together.
Oh my god.
What?
So, I just thought of something.
Huh.
Let me see. So, there's a part of me that feels like, so if you used Atuma as the villain to bring them together. This is off the topic of Namor a little bit. I'm sorry, but it popped in my head and I have to say it. How'd you feel about this? So they use Atuma, and both Black Panther, Namor, have to put together their differences, come together to defeat this common enemy. In the post-credit scene, we find out that who was behind Atuma pulling the strings, who has worked with Atuma in the comics. Oh, I read the wrong one. Never mind. Scratch that. I read that I thought it was Doctor Doom, and I was like, ooh, you could set up Doctor Doom and do a Fantastic Four. Your Fantastic Four. Too many doctors. There's a Dr. Dorcas. Dr. Dorcas?
Dorcas.
And Dorcas is the one that's worked with Atuma. So forget what I just said. I just confused both of them. But Doctor Doom, how about that? Let me ask you this. Let's say, can you introduce Doctor Doom before you do a Fantastic Four movie?
I would not.
So the only way you would put Doctor Doom in this movie is if you do Fantastic Four in Phase 4. So
I think I would do it that way.
Because here's the thing I'm thinking of, and I'm looking at Namor villains. Oh no, Johnny Tablet, why'd you go back?
I don't know why you fucking with my tablet like that.
Why you do things I don't want you to do. So what it says here, Doctor Doom, sometimes allies, sometimes enemies. Doom and Namor use each other, but inevitably turn against each other when their ultimate sensibilities override the benefit of working together. This has been their perpetual relationship since first meeting years ago. How about we get a thing where it could be Doctor Doom pulling the strings, where we don't get the introduction, like, because to be honest, they could introduce Doctor Doom in a sense this way, and I'm not saying it has to be a big role. I'm just saying more of like Namor's the main villain, kind of like what you said with Loki and Thanos, or with Ronan and Thanos, where Namor's the main villain, but who's pulling the strings? Could be Doctor Doom. Could be Doctor Doom saying, hey, I'm using Namor to weaken Wakanda because I want their vibranium. I need their vibranium. If I'm able to have their vibranium, I will have power. And it is such a valuable resource, because the thing that's churning through my mind right now is, why would Namor have the MO in the MCU to attack Wakanda?
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't. In my mind, he wouldn't.
No, we have nothing set up for him to want to attack Wakanda besides vibranium.
And because of the key line in Avengers Endgame, where they're like, oh, there's a tremor in the middle of the Atlantic. And Black Widow's like, well, how do we handle this? And Okoye goes, it's a earthquake. We
underwater.
do nothing.
She goes, it's an earthquake underwater. We leave it.
Yes, exactly. Where that right there, I think Okoye knew what's going on down there. Because I'm assuming Wakanda knows about Atlantis and vice versa. So for me, it's one of those where I feel like if you're going to make Namor the main villain and not have there be like this one where then they have to come together and take them down, somebody needs to be pulling the strings. And to me, the perfect guy to do that is Doctor Doom. I don't know if there's any other character that you could have. Like, I don't think a Norman Osborn is going to be pulling the strings of a Namor. It's going to be a Doctor Doom if you do it that way. And then that sets up something where you don't even, like, he doesn't even need to be in the movie. It could be, like, after Namor fails, because obviously Black Panther is going to come out victorious. After Namor fails, there could be a post-credit scene introducing Doctor Doom in a sense, kind of like with Thanos at the end of Avengers, where we first saw him. And this could be the first time we see Doctor Doom, and then that leads us into a Fantastic Four movie, which the question I'll ask you, and this kind of plays into this, is for a Fantastic Four movie, just so I get your mindset down, do we have to see the accident again? It's kind of like I'm going to call it the Bruce Wayne paradox. Do we need to see the parents die? Do we need to see Uncle Ben die? Do we need to see the accident?
Who doesn't like watching Uncle Ben die?
Or can we just be like, you know what? You get it. I get it. Accident, space, they have powers. Boom. Like, we don't need to see the accident again.
I agree with you partially on that. It's just kind of hard to, like, I can't think of how else to set them up, because it kind of
You can do it as a flashback.
I would rather, yeah, at least you got to reference it somehow, the flashback or something.
Because Reed's got nightmares of it, probably. Like, he's...
Maybe give him, like, guilt, like a nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Like, he feels guilt
like,
about
no,
it.
he's, like, sleep, like, even do a scene where he's sleeping, and he had, like, flashbacks, because he blames himself. Make it so he blames himself. Because
Johnny Storm, it doesn't fit the character.
No.
Thing just wants to turn back into a human.
Yeah, and that would be, like, the one he feels most guilty about is
Ben.
Ben. Because he, like, that's why he has the nightmares. He blames himself, like, because Johnny has this now, or he did this to Johnny, he did this to Sue, but most of all, he did this to Ben, where Ben can't really live a normal life.
Yeah.
So I dig in your idea of having Doctor Doom behind it. I know it doesn't necessarily fit the lineup for it, but
well, I just like,
what if it's that in like a sense of, yeah, it helps him get vibranium, but what if we do play the Atuma angle as well, it's him setting up his the Cabal.
Explain that a little bit.
So there's a villain group, and I know the only one I can find the full, like, lineup of, because the one website I went to just had like a sentence about Norman Osborn. Like, that's not the Cabal.
Yeah.
It's from the cartoon, the Avengers cartoon, where it was led by Johann Schmidt. But that Red Skull, in case no one knows, it had Hyperion in it, Amora, which is the Enchantress, Vlad Dracula, which we'll be introduced to in Blade. Atuma. MODOK. They had like the real name for George Tarleton.
You've been calling for MODOK for like months now,
I'm not saying to put him in there, but like,
correct me if I'm wrong. You've been calling for MODOK.
I started.
Or is it Anti-Monitor?
No, that would be
that's DC. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
I like this. I really need.
I'm like, no, that's DC.
I looked at the camera.
Was it
to
MODOK
get their approval? I was until like Iron Man is.
Oh, okay.
Because he's an Iron Man villain, unless you're gonna. But then Arnim Zola is another part of that.
Oh, okay.
And I'm trying to find like a real lineup.
Who's
like,
a computer?
He would.
In the MCU, is a computer.
Yeah, he's a computer in the MCU, but I mean, it's not like they can't. It's Namor's members apparently. Anyways, yeah. So I mean, I mean that could be. To me, that could be one where it's like that sets up like who's making Atuma turn those two against each other.
Yeah,
Doctor Doom in the background, and yeah, make Doctor Doom the leader because it's like you do this, you get Atlantis, I get all the vibranium I need. All you need to do is pit him against him, and that would be Doctor Doom with that, Atuma as the sword. Let's say Thanos, Doctor Doom would be the Thanos, and then that would make Atuma the
Shikari,
the Loki, or the Ronin.
Wouldn't Namor be the Loki?
And then I'm trying to think how to put this. Then
I just feel like there's too many moving pieces.
Well, no, that would be more of an after credit or like a very, very end of the movie.
So what you're saying?
To show like,
let me make sure I got this correct.
Yeah.
So we've kind of got a double agent thing going on here where
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Doctor Doom is setting up Namor to go after Black Panther, but then he's also setting up Atuma to go after them as well. Kind of to like, hey, Namor will take out Black Panther and then Atuma will take out...
No, it's Doctor Strange.
Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom setting up Atuma to make Namor fight Black Panther.
So he's got no connection to
So he has
Namor.
no connection to Namor. It's
keeping his hands clean.
Exactly. Okay. I'm washing my hands. All we did was talk.
Yeah.
That's it. Because Doctor Doom does not do the legwork if he doesn't have to.
Yeah, I just feel like... adding the Atuma into it is a little bit too many moving pieces, where I feel like Doctor Doom, instead of asking working with Atuma to get Namor to do it, Doctor Doom would just go to Namor and trick him into doing it. Because he would
but I feel
because they would have the agreement of, I get the vibranium I need, you get 2 kingdoms, you get to rule Wakanda.
See, I don't know if Namor that's the thing,
Atlantis.
And I don't know if Namor necessarily wants that. That's why I'm putting the Atuma angle on there. Doctor Doom will keep his hands clean. Oh no, I didn't do anything. I've been in Latveria the whole time.
Yeah.
He has Atuma to convince Namor to fight that Wakanda is their enemy, blah, blah, blah. So Namor attacks Wakanda. Wakanda's not going to take that shit, so they're going to fight back.
They're going to lay down and take it.
Exactly. So they're going to fight back. There's going to be a huge fight.
Okay.
And he's going to go, why?
Now I get it a little bit.
And then it's going to be Atuma. They go back at Atuma because he's the one that kind of set them up.
Started it all.
He started it all, set them up.
He's the guinea pig, basically.
He's I guess...
Not the guinea pig. He's the scapegoat.
He's the scapegoat. There you go. Yeah. He's the red herring. Yeah. Since we're doing underwater shit.
Basically.
And that's Doctor Doom just washing his hands of it and maybe setting up sort of a nod at a cabal. I know we don't have to, but it'd be kind of I would like the nod towards it.
Last thing I want to ask you.
I don't want it.
There have been people that are saying Keanu Reeves should be Namor. I don't think it happens. I want you to look at this picture I'm going to show you. So there is a Screen Rant article where I guess Boss Logic, who does all the like, hey, what would Robert Pattinson look like as Batman? Mm-hmm. Where would this person look like as Batman?
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
So have you ever seen the movie Crazy Rich Asians?
I didn't see it, but I know of it.
Okay. See, I have, because my mom has watched it like a million times, and through being at home, you watch it also. Mm-hmm. There is rumors. Is it rumors? Or is it just, let's see. Oh, there, yeah. So he made fan art that the actor, what's his name? Henry Golding, who played Nick in Crazy Rich Asians, the main protagonist, the dude from Crazy Rich Asians. People are saying he should be Namor. This is the art that Boss Logic came up for it. So I'm going to show you the art, and then I'm going to show you really quick what he looked like in Crazy Rich Asians. And I just want a yes or no, Johnny, of do you think that he looks the part for Namor in the MCU? Because that one kind of like the facial features, they kind of changed a little bit because, of course, you're going to change it to fit the character that you're going for.
Yeah.
But let's see. Let me find a good picture.
I'd do it.
You dig it?
I dig it.
Did you almost say, I date it?
No, okay. My mouth wasn't saying do it right.
Yeah.
I would take it.
Johnny's like, I was going to say, I'd do it, but that sounds weird.
No, I'd do it.
But I mean, that is where we'll end it. Let us know what you guys think down below. With the Namor thing, is he going to be the main villain? Should he be the main villain? Should there be another villain that both him and Black Panther are like, we got to come together and be good guys and go against them?
I don't like you, don't like me, but we're going to work together, bitch.
Basically. What are your thoughts, guys, with the Black Panther movie? Let us know. Black Panther 2 movie. Let us know what you guys think down below.